Okay, if I'm trying to add or subtract radicals, the first thing you have to do is make sure that you have simplified all the radicals to begin with, whatever you're trying to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. First you want to make sure it's everything's simplified. If you're trying to add or subtract them, you have to make sure that you have the same radicand, which is the stuff underneath the radical symbol, and the same root number. If you don't have the same root number, if it's like a square root and a cube root, that's not going to work. And when you're multiplying radicals, you can't multiply the whole number and the radical number together. You have to write it as the whole number and the radicand separately. You can multiply whole numbers by whole numbers and radicals by radicals, but you can't multiply a whole number and a radical together. They always stay separate. So if I want to simplify this, my 10x isn't changing. I can simplify 8 and the square root, or x squared, underneath my square root symbol. So my perfect squares that go into 8 are 4 times 2 x squared y plus 7. 2 doesn't simplify, so I'm just going to rewrite it x to the 4th y minus 5x squared. 18 I know is 9 times 2y. And then 2x squared y is going to stay 2x squared y. So the square root of 4 is 2, so I'm going to take that out and multiply by it. Whatever I pull out of the radical, you multiply by. Square root of 2 I can't take the square root of, so it stays underneath. The square root of x, I could pull out one group of 2, so I can pull out an x, and y is going to stay underneath. Plus 7 times, can't take the square root of 2, so it's going to stay square root of 2. X to the 4th, I can pull out two groups of 2, so I'm going to put x squared. And square root of y I can't do anything with, so square root of y stays underneath. Minus 5 x squared. Square root of 9 is 3, so I'm going to multiply by 3. Can't take the square root of 2 and can't take the square root of y, so I still have 2y underneath that radical. And then this term's already simplified because I can't do anything with the square root of y, so I have 2x squared y. So if I multiply my values out in front of all my radicals now, I'd have 20x squared square root 2y plus 7x squared square root of 2y plus 15x squared square root of 2y plus 2x square root of y. So in the first three terms, I have the same variable on the outside and I have the same radicand, so those three terms I can add. This should still be a minus, not a plus. So those three terms I can add and subtract. This last term, I only have an x and I only have a square root of y. I don't have a square root of 2y. So that's not the same, so I can't do anything with that. So I'm just going to add it on to the end once I'm done. So 20x squared plus 7x squared is going to give me 27. Minus 15 is going to give me 12x squared. And the square root of 2y is treated kind of like a variable. You don't simplify it at all, add it. So it just stays the square root of 2y when you add or subtract. And then that 2x squared y is going to be added on because there's no other like terms that can be combined with that.